This video contains commentary. What's the snickle fritz, my dudes? Welcome back to Storytime with your favorite Reddit fairy. My name is Lorna, and today we're getting into episode 69 of r/Choosing Beggars. But that's not all. Stay tuned for some r/pro revenge after that. Without further ado, smash that subscribe button, sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. But it's not safe. Posted by user Genocidal Adam. Almost forgot about this one. Last summer, I put a pair of tires out to the edge of my driveway. Low profile, high performance tires that were on my car when I ran over a nail. It was center of the tires, so I had the tire patched, and I actually had ordered better tires for the car anyway, so these had less than 3,000 miles on them, but I needed to drive another day or two before the new ones came in. I drive very conservatively, therefore tread wear was practically indistinguishable from the brand new thickness. I sat out a sign, $50 as is. It should be noted that these tires were going for $150 each brand new at the time, so I didn't feel that $50 for the pair was unfair. They sat there most of the day while I worked on my car in the driveway. Finally, one guy stopped, looked at the tires, walked up the drive. He asks, "Anything wrong with them?" I responded, "The one had a nail in it, so I had it patched, but they both have less than 3,000 on them, and tread wear is like new." He says, "That's not safe." I said, "People drive tens of thousands of miles on patched tires all the time. If it wasn't safe, then you couldn't get them patched." He replies, "It's not safe and you shouldn't be selling them." "What should I do with them then?" I asked. "Won't you just give them to me?" "Will that make them more safe?" was my reply. He said, "No, but I'm not buying unsafe tires." Again, I got snarky. If they are unsafe, then you shouldn't take them at any price, even if they were free. He looked at my car and asked, "Did they come off of this car?" "Yes." "Won't you sell me 2 of those tires and put these back on the car if you think they're so safe?" "Seriously?" I replied. "Why not?" he retorted. Asshole mode engaged. I said, "These tires are not for sale, and for you, those tires are now $100. Take it or leave it, but if you ain't buying, you're now trespassing." He said, "I ain't going no fucking where." I said, "Great. The police station is about quarter mile that way," pointing, "and cops drive by here about once every 15 minutes. I won't even have to call since one should drive by any moment now." And I walked towards the edge of the road. Dude went quiet, walked to his car, and drove off. 20 minutes later, I sold the tires for the posted price. Selling used tire. Buyer wants them free because one was patched. Okay, this is the TLDR. Let's just skip past that, I think. Stuart, if they're not safe, then you shouldn't be putting them on your car regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it that their logic is just so seriously flawed? Like, you're gonna use this as an argument, but that argument can just be used right back against you, you dum-dum. Alright, my dudes, before I get into the next story, don't forget to smash that like button, maybe tickle the subscribe button a little bit. I'm telling you, it loves it. It will never say no to you. And don't forget to turn on all notifications for future videos just like this one. And the next story is called Students Complain About Lab Grades, posted by user GatorFan93. I'm a 5th semester student of software engineering, and I'm a teaching assistant for a data structures course. Yesterday, at 9 a.m., I was supposed to listen to a project defense from a group of 2 students, but due to illness, I asked if I could grade their project at 11 a.m. They complained and said they got to campus early just for that, and it was a lack of responsibility on my part. So I made a deal with them and said that I could award them a bonus of 0.05 out of 5 as a result of my tardiness, something I am in no way obligated to do. They accepted. During the project demo, they failed miserably in many key aspects of the code review, and I awarded them a 2.9 out of 5. When I told them the final grade would be a 2.95, They immediately refused to accept the grade and demanded that I give them a point 0.1 bonus instead of a point 0.05 so that they could get a 3 out of 5, which is the minimum passing grade. They decided not to sign the consent form for the grade that they received. Later that evening, the professor for the course sent me an email and told me the students went to his office and said that I graded them unfairly because I was late. They ended up receiving a 2.95 for the final grade. Update. The kids should have really received a 1.76 had I graded them using the professor's strict rubric, but I went the extra mile to try to look past serious flaws in their software to award them the 2.9. The 0.05 was something I really didn't have to do. The professor himself decided to grade their project. Their new final grade is a 1.83. Shit. Guess that, they probably learned quite the lesson there, my dudes. Like, be happy when somebody cuts you a break because you might just pay the asshole tax in the end. That being said, this story should also be cross-posted in r/asshole tax, which, you know what, I think I'm gonna do a crossover of asshole tax, maybe on Monday. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I have one more story from the r/ChoosingBeggars subreddit today, and this one is called Sex Work Stories, hosted by user $20 a song. I'm a stripper. I have a girlfriend, and men sometimes pay me for sex. Oh, and I despise eating out in the non-cunnilingus sense of the word. With that out of the way, the club where I work is an endless source of stories, many of which is appropriate for this sub. Tonight, I was offered the deal of a lifetime, and I turned it down in a heartbeat, and again, and again, and again. This guy, who was pushing 70, offered me a 90-minute, full-body, four-handed massage at no cost to me. Oh joy. So I told him my rates and he looked at me like I'm some sort of alien. He had no intention of paying me and proceeded to reiterate his offer at least a handful of times in the next 10 minutes, after I declined politely. Let me be clear. That is 90 minutes too long and far too many hands. But wait, there's more. To sweeten the deal, he'll buy me dinner. Oh, and it's 22 miles away and I don't have a car. He is not a masseuse, and this is not my idea of a good time. What in the absolute fuck was he thinking? And yet here I am, complaining that a nice man won't pay me an exorbitant amount of money just to give me food and a massage. It's kind of thought-provoking, so long as you don't think about it very long. Fuck that guy. By which, I mean, don't. Not for free, anyway. So it looks like this one was removed because I had it saved and it's just gone out of my saved list now. But, so, wait a second. So this guy goes to a strip club or wherever this person is working and says, hey, I'll give you a four-handed massage free of charge. You're not allowed to touch them. Wait, some places you are, but in Canada, you're not allowed to touch the strippers. I'm pretty sure that's still a thing. So why would you think that they would allow you to do that to them for free? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This is so fucked. So cringy. I can see why it was probably removed if it was removed because I'm sure it did get a lot of attention. I unfortunately can't link back to it unless I do find it and I just made a derp and unsaved it somehow, but I don't know. Men, just take note. Don't become that guy. Just don't. Don't try to touch the strippers. They don't like it. The dancers. I'm sorry if you're a dancer and you took offense to that. I'm sorry. You do you, boo-boo. It's got nothing to do with me. Alright, my dudes, we are gonna get into some pro revenge. This first story is called Someone from r/petty revenge suggested I cross-post this here. Posted by user C_Alex_author. This was shared to a group I am in. I hope no one has shared this yet. He was cheating on me with a coworker of mine. She knew we were together, but told people she didn't care. Our moms and families ran in the same circles, so their actions affected a lot of people. After I learned what was going on, we broke up. I found out she was expecting to marry him now that I was out of the way. So I sent her flowers and an inexpensive ring, delivered it to her at her job, along with a lovely marriage proposal. She yelled out, "He proposed!" Everyone was clapping and congratulating her. I conveniently went on my break when she ran off to call him. When I came back, she was crying. I put on my best face and asked, "So, when is the wedding?" She ran off to the bathroom, sobbing hysterically. Best $75 I ever spent. That's a pretty good payback, I gotta admit. Like, can you imagine being that girl and being like super, that's like, oof. You know what I mean? Especially with that happening at work, all of a sudden you're like super happy, and then the next second you're like, I want to know what he said. Was he like, "It's over? Are we never getting married?" Or was he like, "What? It's been like a week. You're crazy. What's happening?" You know? Payback's a bitch. All right, let's get into the next one, my dudes. Okay, my dudes, before I get into the next story, I wanted to just throw up a little bit of a trigger warning. There's going to be mention of self-harm. There's going to be mention of pedophilia. There's going to be mention of sexual predatory behavior. Yeah, so I totally understand if you're done watching at this point. This is the last story of the video, so you could just hit stop if you're not comfortable continuing. Totally understand. This one is called... Fuck, I'm not getting monetized. Pedophile gets exposed and shamed by his idols and heroes. Posted by user Mar_Reddit. So I posted a comment on a subreddit that ended up giving me enough karma that I can finally post stuff. Yo, boy! This revenge story happened just yesterday, and I'm excited I actually get to share it. I never expected I would have a revenge story, but boy howdy do I get to. Background. If you've seen my previous posts, you know that I am an animator in my free time. I was invited to do a Discord server a few years ago where I met my great friends. Together we help each other in providing each other resources for each of our projects. Things such as models, particles, maps, etc. We don't really create these models. We really cheat to get our hands on our resources. We port them from video games and whatnot. Perfectly legal. We invite anyone who has an art form into the server, be it 2D drawn art, animation, even 3D art, as well as people who can contribute to the server in different ways. Even if they're not an animator, they can help by porting models for those who can animate, who don't know how to port. You know, people like me. Models are commissioned the same way you would commission art. It's a very fun server. You don't have to do anything to really contribute per se, but it's a hub for animators to meet and work together. The cast, named as JoJo characters. Come on, man. How am I supposed to pronounce these fucking names? Bruno Bucciarati? Fucking hell. Server owner, Joseph Joestar, the co-owner of the server. Giorno Giovanna, fellow animator, really talented dude. Leone Abacchio? I just met him through this incident. And Kevin, named after r/stories about Kevin, aka Arpedo. Trish, Kevin's ex, the conduit for the revenge. And me. I'ma give you 3 guesses who this is. Names have been changed, in case you couldn't tell, for privacy reasons. Le Story. One day, Kevin is invited to the server. He's capable of commissioning models for those who need it. We talked about a series I'd been wanting to animate for a long time because I thought it would be fun. I may still do it someday, I may not, who knows. Eventually, we became pretty damn good friends, always adding to what this story could be and how he could help me make it happen. I even let him create a character for himself to be in the story. This character would go on to play a pretty damn big role in the script. He goes on and on, creating different versions of the character, never settling on one thing. Around 7 to 8 months ago, we ended up having a falling out with one of the other members of the server. This member had been harassing other members, including Kevin, to make models for them, saying shit like, "If you don't make me this model, you're one shitty friend." Not quote unquote, but the general tactic. Eventually, Kevin went to Bruno Bucciarati and he confronted the bully. He and another member who tried the same shit were kicked out. This isn't really important to the story other than to show we stood up for this guy. We had his back when shit got tight. This ended up causing him to become very attached to the server. He didn't have a very good social life off of the internet, so he practically started seeing us as borderline family. He also became very passionate of his character and his character's model, and was really excited to see me animate him. At one point, I spent 36 hours animating a fight scene between my character model and his. It's easily the largest scale battle I've ever animated, and now I regret every second of it. He and I became friends with a pixel animator who needed my help with something he'd asked me to animate in 3D. So we all created a chat between the three of us, and it would be where we would hang out and talk for a while. Eventually, he started telling Bruno, as well as me and the pixel animator, that he's been cutting. He's been thinking about suicide and that he doesn't know where else to go. I console him as best I can, but I'm not exactly the most knowledgeable person when it comes to these things. These threats of cutting and suicide came in random bursts, and we weren't sure what to do. Bruno even ended up crying with him because he thought a close friend and member of the server could be dead in the morning. He said he felt so helpless. Soon, the whole escapade would die down and we wouldn't hear anything like it again. Last week, I wake up and see an announcement from Bruno on Discord pinging everyone. I'll copy and paste it here. At everyone, stay away from Discord name, aka Kevin. He is a child predator who preys on young children and begs them for nudes. He also has child pornography on his computer. Keep away from him the best you can. I was shocked. I immediately blocked and unfriended Kevin and left the chat he and Pixel Animator were in. I also let the Pixel Animator know what was going on, and he did the same. A few days roll by and I'm invited to a group chat. In this chat is Bruno, Giorno Giovanna, Leonie Abaccio, and Trish. Trish is his ex that knows Kevin in real life, and she had some dirt on him. Turns out he had done a lot more than just target girls. He's roleplayed with little girls for their nudes. Little girls weren't his only target. Older women were too. His excuse when Bruno found out and confronted him was, "Look, see, they're okay with it." As if that makes the age of consent null and void. He threatened to commit suicide to get what he wants, guilt-tripping Trish into staying as his girlfriend. He was into scat porn. I didn't even know what that was before yesterday. He wanted little girls to do that with him. I think he did have a girl do that with him. I'm not sure, I may be wrong, but I thought it would be worth adding. Threatening suicide was what he did to get what he wanted. Those times he threatened suicide with us was just a means to an end. Had child porn on his computer. When Trish told him she was going to go over there to confront him over this bullshit he had been pulling, he threatened to rape her if she showed up. She had images of the messages between Kevin and the girls. Yeah, you don't want to know. He gave Trish $500 to groom her into staying with him. What a fucking simp. And he claimed that she took advantage of him when she wouldn't give it back. Playing victim was also a favorite tactic of his. He had been caught doing this before, but got a new identity online so then he can continue doing this. He actually managed to lure a little 14-year-old girl into his house and dry hump with her and touch her. He was too pussy to go any further, thank God. While he was guilt-tripping Trish to keep her from leaving, he'd block her on social media so then she wouldn't know that he was seeing other girls. Trish found out about this because this dumbass forgot he gave her his account info, so she went on and just had a new boyfriend. When Kevin found out about this, he went everywhere claiming she's an unloyal hoe, a vile hypocrite. Harassed and threatened to kill Trish's new boyfriend as if her leaving was his fault. Almost all of this shit I've listed is shit he's been pulling for years. He would just create a new online identity every time he was caught and continue stalking. As well as a handful of other shitty things. That's everything that's just off of memory. I may or may not ask for more specific details and update this list later. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's plenty to understand why we now hate this fuckwit. So we hatch a plan. We have evidence of almost all of this. Almost all of it. We have proof he's targeting little girls. He has child pornography on his desktop. How do we know? Trish got that info out of him by dangling the idea that she'd stay with him and give him images of her meow meow if he admitted what he had to her. Evidently, they screen shared and he showed her like it was his trophy room. This is when Joseph Joestar enters the picture. He was our guy who pulled some less than legal actions to obtain Kevin's address, as Trish didn't know where Kevin lived, just his town. Trish and Kevin only dated online, but never really met in person. Joseph managed to get an address, full name, parents' name, and even a phone number. This is before Kevin threatened to rape Trish. We didn't really do anything with the phone number, but we did call it once or twice while he was in class. Nothing really came of that. We have more than enough to send him to prison. We just have to call the right people. The plan is to call him tomorrow, yesterday at the time of this post, and tell him not to leave until we say what we have to say. We have the nuclear codes to his life. We just have to dial the right numbers. Yesterday we call him and he actually stays for the call, letting him know that if he leaves, we send this info to the right people in his state and he can kiss his future goodbye. Cue damn near 2 hours of chewing his ass out. We confront him for every accusation, every piece of evidence. We give him every chance to defend himself. What does he do? He denies none of it and confirms all of our suspicions, which is the ultimate, last piece of evidence we would need to send him away. As the cherry on top, the full hour and a half of chewing Kevin a new asshole was recorded. Our lovely character, Leone Abacchio, did most of the ass chewing and shouting as he is close friends with Trish. It was recorded him admitting he threatened to rape Trish if she came to confront him. I personally asked him that one. He admitted he was role-playing with girls. He admitted everything to us. I would offer to share the recording, but there is a lot of names and locations mentioned in it, and censoring an hour and a half of that shit doesn't sound appealing. We then tweet everything, minus the recording, online and shame him for what he'd done. It spread like wildfire in the animation community and beyond. Now everybody knows who he is and what he did. This even includes impressive name animators such as Daido Modachi and Devil's Artemis, who are in the server Bruno created. Kevin actually helped Artemis with a few models he'd needed. Now he's practically dead to Artemis, Duvad, another impressive animator who has relations with the previously mentioned, also heard of Kevin and shamed him. These are the people that were Kevin's idols, and now they all view him with disgust and shame. His heroes now despise him for what he's done. When the ass chewing was over, we told him to fuck off, that if we found out he tried something again or even simply contacted one of us, we would send everything we have to the right people to shut his life down before it even starts. The only reason we're being merciful and not immediately sending his ass to the deepest basement in Guantanamo Bay is because he's only a few months from turning 18, which is more than old enough to know that this shit's not okay, and he'd been doing this for years. We're not going to ruin his life just yet. I was the only one who was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and convince him to not immediately report him. Now, he's been exposed to the community, shamed by his idols and heroes, and is now on a leash. One toe out of line, and his life is as fucked as the girls he was targeting. This was a wake-up call. His first consequence was to be shamed by those he admired, and being condemned by a community he felt proud in. His next consequence is behind bars. We also have him leashed to make sure he doesn't do this shit again. He knows we have dirt on him, and we have someone who lives close enough to catch him if he pulls this shit again. This, and because he was our friend, we want to see him be better. He's too young for this life to be ruined. Like I said, he has one chance left. If he does something, we'll know. He claims he's sorry. He claims he'll change, but only time will tell if he's being honest. If he does do something, I'll be back. Next time, I'll be posting on r/nuclear revenge. As I said, we have the nuclear codes to his life. There's a whole bunch of edits here. Let's get into edit 1. Clarification, okay. Edit 2. I also forgot to mention at the same time this happened, the person who bullied Kevin into getting what he wanted was welcomed back into the server as he had felt guilty and knew he was in the wrong. He'd apologized and was welcomed back. He got to watch Kevin get kicked out. Edit 3. I also love listening to Reddit stories while I work or drive. If anyone wants to read this, you've got full permission. Why, thank you. Edit 4. Added to the list of shit he did. Edit 5. So after reading a lot of the responses to this post, a lot of you feel that we didn't really do enough to stop him. I've talked with my friends and they agree. I feel it's my fault that something as serious as Kevin is still free. We talked it over and Joseph Joestar has emailed the chief of police in his state. Thank you all for bringing to light just how much more serious this should be taken. I didn't take it as serious as it should have been taken, simply because Kevin is 17. He was my friend and I wanted to help him. I felt taking this to the police would just ruin his life before he even had a chance to start it. But it's been made clear to me that that ship sailed when he started targeting girls. 17 is more than old enough to know that that is wrong. As I've stated, Joseph has emailed the chief of police in Kevin's state. We'll remedy this and do something with the firepower we have. I'll take this story to r/legal advice to find the absolute best approach to maximize justice. I'll post an update once something comes of this. Holy shit! Yeah, he should have definitely gone right to the police because, I'm sorry, 17, okay, he says he doesn't want to ruin his life, but you kind of did that already. You know what I'm saying? Well, he did. He ruined his life. Let's get that fucking straight, because this guy needs some serious fucking help. Not OP, the Kevin. That guy needs some serious fucking help, because, I'm sorry, you already made it so the community that he was a part of, that he loved, turned against him. To him, that's probably his whole life. His whole life. You took that from him. If he went to jail, or, went to some kind of psychiatric facility to get the help he needs, because, I'm sorry, again, he clearly needs that help. I don't know, I think you kind of did it backwards, to be honest. I think you should have just called the cops right away. As soon as you had that proof, just go to the cops. It seemed like you kind of just wanted to spread something around for a story instead of actually helping the guy or the people that he's harming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get somebody like that off the streets. So I'm glad that OP, realized that he needs to call the authorities on this one, because that is, really needed in this situation. He should not be left unchecked whatsoever. That's a psychopath waiting to happen. That's all I'm saying. I mean, he kind of already is, but I think at this point, his brain is still developing. Maybe there's still hope. That's all I'm saying. The guy's still a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. Oh my god, I was not expecting that. Oh my god. And sorry for butchering those names in the story. I cannot pronounce... I think those are like Italian names. I can't pronounce them worth a shit. So, sorry about that, eh? I don't... Oh my god, I think I'm gonna end this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please smash that like button. It really helps me out. I'm at, whoa, guys, dude, 905 subscribers today. We got 95 subscribers to go. It's so exciting. If you like this video, please smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for future videos just like this one. As always, the links to the stories will be in the description below, so head on over to Reddit and show those posters some love with some upvotes, because you know they deserve it. As always, I'll miss you guys. You have a great fucking weekend. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are doing this weekend, because I always want to know. I always want to hear about your plans and the cool things you guys do. So let me know below. You guys have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. Peace out, my dudes.